Papua New Guinea is a Christian country with most of the country's population belonging to a church. According to United Nations 2020 data, the country's population is approximately 8 million people. It is estimated to be 0.11% of the world's population with 800 different traditional dialects, tribes, race and traditional merits. However, the only culture that is more common to everyone is Christianity. Today Papua New Guinea is termed as a Christian country because of the countless churches present in the state. This has created a strong religious atmosphere in the nation, from generation to generation who is firm to their forefathers' religion. A typical example is from the people of the Upper Tambel in the Tambel Mabilia district of the Western Highlands province, who have been the followers of the Catholic Church for many generations. They belong to the Sinsibai Sacred Heart Catholic Parish that was established in the Archdiocese of Mount Hagen in Western Highlands province. Today the church has 4 outstations with approximately 10,000 parishioners in the Upper Nibilir area, with a total of 5 primary and elementary schools. It is through faith, community support and the ever-growing congregations that is the foundation of the Sinsibai Parish till now. Sinsibai was declared as a parish in 2014 based by the late Archbishop of Mount Hagen Michael Meyer. He first visited Sinsibai in 1992 for the promise of late Sister Sabina Karapai from the Franciscan Sisters. The late Archbishop of Mount Hagen Archbishop Michael Meyer anticipated that a separate parish be established to assist the existing Kurik parish due to its exponential growth with 12 outstations. With a high demand to establish a parish in Sinsibai, the only mandate that the local community had to endure was to build a house for a priest and a pastoral center to cater the growing number of followers. In 1997, the construction of the priest house began. It took them 5 years of planning, collecting money and fundraising activities from church members. A true indication of community support and self-reliance. With the money received from the members, the church bought a chainsaw and began logging for timbers based on an architectural plan of the building and budgeted material costs. However, the priest house was partly complete, and in 2002 late Father Francisberg, parish priest of Kurik, saw the need to complete the house, and got overseas funding worth of 50,000 kina. Today the house worth 100,000 kina has 5 bedrooms, 1 kitchen, 2 shower rooms and 2 living rooms. The faith of the faithful in Sinsibai has been a strong indication of the loyalty the members have for the church, despite some ups and downs. In 2004, a tragic incident happened in the church in Sinsibai that affected the church's activity. That took 5 years of waiting. This was a chain of events that will remain in the hearts and minds of the faithful. The dream to make Sinsibai a parish was shattered after the death of late James and the former Kurik parish priest the late Father Kruisberg, who was transferred to Holy Trinity Teachers College to be the chaplain of the college, and Archbishop Michael Meyer retired. But the faith of the Sinsibai faithful remained strong, and in 2009 the new Archbishop of Mount Hagen Archbishop Douglas Young sent Father Bogdan to Sinsibai as a parish priest. This was a big relief for the leaders and members who saw the house they had built for a priest was for the first time occupied. It was also sad for the elderly church leaders and members who had passed on without seeing the priest house being occupied for the first time. After Father Bogdan, The late Father John Gee went there in 2012 and organized the people to build a new church building and completed the necessary documentation to declare Sinsibai as a parish. This finally happened in 2014 when Father Raphael Melmoka, the current rector of Good Shepherd College in Bands, was the parish priest. While the priest had a home, there was no pastoral center to conduct meetings or to run the parish operations. Church members felt that they had to build a pastoral center to make Sinsibai a complete parish. With strong community support, in 2015, parish chairman Petrus Dumu and few of his leaders hired a sawmill and milled timber again in the forest and did the foundation without buying any building materials.
And then they brought it down to the site and they put a structure up, but there was no roofing iron, wick cream, and it was standing there. And then some good Samaritans, they came on board and they helped us purchase those, and we were able to complete the pastoral center.
The pastoral center is now completed with 32 beds, an office and conference room. It is open for hire, and so far some of the first clients were Holy Trinity Teachers College students, Nibilier Deanery catechists, St. Paul Parish catechumens, CARE International Girls Education, and recently the Divine Word University matriculation programs being delivered through the Pastoral Center.
I'm Islam conference room, number of 40 or 45. I'm American is inside from Islam conference room. I'm all rooms I'm all months I come sleep. Also I come sleep me plus I seem really conch blong wakim nubla uslo tu. Room em 8 pla room. So 1 pla injet room em bla make him 4 pla beds. Double up down me bla make him awesome.
Divine Word University Matriculation Program. Now plenty on surrounding community also like in this program. Plenty beginning come school here in Kokam. Now I am close to time on the graduate from online. So people come on the camera here. So now sometimes people working on plenty online also. I'm must come here na staff na sleep Kokam. Now also give us some money lo people. People sa kutim lo working project lo people.
The people and leaders fully understand self-reliance. They made sacrifices, even lost a life and built 2 projects themselves. During the opening of the Pastoral Center, they also launched their 3rd major project, which will be a new church building. This project has a plan and an established committee for the project, unlike the 2 previous ventures.
They want to use the same concept like they build a priest house and they build a pastoral center. And then for the new church building, they want to use the same concept and said we have built these 2 ourselves without the support from our maybe diocese, support from any other donor agencies. They said they want to do it, but to build a church project, it requires a lot of money. It's not like you're building a priest house or pastoral center.
It is a major plan which they are now appealing to interested individuals and organizations in Papua New Guinea and abroad to step in and support the fundraising drive in both cash and kind. Archbishop of Mount Hagen, Archbishop Douglas Young launched the fundraising drive and assured Catholics in Sinsibai that this was a huge project in a rural village, but was possible with God's help. He supported the idea of building a new church, saying most churches in the Archdiocese of Mount Hagen were built by early missionaries, and local people needed to take ownership of those buildings by maintaining or replacing them.
So it was one of the parishes that we considered very early for division, and it was divided in 2014, January 2014. Kuruk remained as a parish, and Sinsibai was established first of all as a quasi-parish to indicate that it could develop into a parish, and then it was established in 2014 with Father John Gui as the first parish priest.
For more than 50 years, Sinsibai built a reputation as a place where church members are encouraged to participate in activities to become a model for self-reliance. The church has flourished under the leadership of strong senior church and community leaders such as Petrus Dumu, James Alphonse, Joseph Wambis, and educated elites of the area, and former parish priest, the late Father Francis Kruisberg, who had the vision to establish Sinsibai as a parish. The Sinsibai Catholic Church has raised many young men and women in Sinsibai. Sinsibai is a healthy church in the midst of transition from an outstation to parish, and from one priest to another, from an aging congregation to younger members and families. Sinsibai was a food garden of the Poikakam people. The first missionaries went and established the church at the current site in the 1960s, when Chief Poldi gave his prime land to the church.
Sinsibai is that it was attached to Kuruk Parish, which was established in about 1961 by Father Tony Kroll, who then went on to Wabeg. It was part of an outreach. It was called the Northern Corridor. It was actually, the Kuruk part of it at least was to open up towards Kumdi and the Baya. And of course it collected communities between Kuruk itself and Kiripia. So there was also an outreach going towards the south. Sinsibai itself could have easily been attached to Kiripia at that time. Then in 1964, Father Ani Stefan came to Kuruk, and it was his job to develop that northern corridor, so he moved more in the direction of Kumdi and Mabaya and even Day Council.
The Sinsibai Catholic Church went through two remodeling phases, from the first Haus Kunai or Bush Material House in the 1960s. Then in 1982 the Bush Material House was replaced by modern building materials and become an outstation of Kirk Parish. This was until the outstation became a parish, and the need for a new church building was the primary target for Sinsibai.
Islam house lotu blomipla, tamipla Kitchen Parish time, and mouse lotu all Papa been working lo 1982, all been working this house lotu. Now lo 2005, 2015 only been given this la parish. Namipla been same house lotu, same house lotu. Mipla been house station yet. Mipla been stop coming up now. Now lo parish too, Mipla been using this the same house lo too. And also population, lo Mipla mak lo 600 to 700 population Mipla lo too. Na Mipla stop go na lo look na ting lo Mipla lo. Population em go big la house lo too, me lig Thomas na house lo too em order lig so Mipla ting lo. Mipla like kamabin want la nupla house lo too.
Today the old church building is a very sad sight to see, both inside and outside of the building, with the ever-growing number of church members attending to the church.
Disturbance and orpla time mipla using disturbance. First one mipla sinta nothing low ground mipla no working cement to mipla sinta nothing na. Then we go working close men finish now we are using this bench. We are using this bench. And lo 1981 we go ban this bench. And we are working lo we are ban lo kaupena. We are ban this land and we are using kaga now this land go on now then we are tanim na we are ban this bench. And we are ban this bench now we are sit down on this bench.
I think it's the best because I think I'm 7-8 years now, about 8 years so. Very Islam bands. Islam ada bibo all one melon or house for the time all working come under was of altar. Now what's on then we play one minute go na we play bin go a town na we play ban or brick. We play ban brick na lanin go na we play using awesome altar. This play sacristy room lo we play bin stop in church na we play sabe come out father sabe Father, we play like lot of time and we play using this sacristy. All play one long stop na. We play no got one good sacristy. Okay, some time more sacristy and stop backside lo house lo tu na, front lo house lo tu na. Also procession na coming jet also. That's all lo we play no got so. Pastor name stop lo all play one name stop lo name stop also na. The
people of Sinsibai are now embarking to establish a new church building that is estimated to cost about 2 million kina based on its architectural model. A project that is still in the pipeline in terms of money. A very slow phase when trying to organize and collect the money locally. This is a very painful exercise to locals in the village and very few educated elites from Sinsibai Parish. This doesn't stop the heart of the people.
Maybe like one that thinking maybe like working this house low too. Look house low too.
Maybe all this place or working people working Kako mountain na. All this bush come up logan on cutting na. Working Kako mountain collecting 1 kina 2 kina now all working this church. So now all talking maybe low working nubla project. Na maybe planning carrot. Planning potato, people are bringing 1 kina 2 kina. Now people are collecting, mega motion. Now people are working this nubla project. All mama, now all papa tunguna, all been making long and samla all die. Samla now all lapun. Now all no feet lo make all this logo. So now we like simplest logo. Lo making church go big pla. Now say church go big pla tumas.
Now I'm young pla type of pla come lotuna lukumorshim. House lot of blooming plant pull up. I'm making house lot of people, Baba blooming plant start now. The working house lot now, house lot and pull up now. Now we look number blooming plant people and musician quantum. Quantum now. Time we play stop in channel display. House lot and blooming more some and no lap. So we play now yet and we play make him material make him 2 blooms. Number 1 missile and number 2 missile number block people and quantum. Nah, Islam blur commercial. So, we thinking plain law, working on big plus law to solid. But Islam number must stop. Nah, local plus law. And Islam blur big black ray thinking law, making this law to. We blur thinking law. First, we blur thinking law working. We blur buy some brick, straight him ground, we blur making go, but them. Ogot one plus school man to start but we play at Papa we play like try making but this play thinking to him no work man something by blowing and start it but now we play start go na look him all brother blowing all start the school and all come na we play talk one time na all game some play thinking na now we play like thinking lo working play no play slow to blow play.
Yeah, the idea of starting the new church building for Sinsibai Parish was initially started by Father John Gui in 2014. Unfortunately, he was sent to St. Paul's Parish in Hagen, and people, even he left, people still buy the materials. And then Father Rafael Moka was sent to Sinsibai Parish, and then he also saw the need to build a new church building because the current church building is an old one that was built during the time when Sinsibai was a Diocese. So he also saw that the idea to extend the old church building or build a new one. And then we were planning to work with him to build a new church. But then he also left. He was sent to Good Shepherd as a rector for Good Shepherd College. He went to Good Shepherd and there was no priest at the time, so we were kind of like, what are we going to do with our plan to build a new church project? And then finally we were given Father Kenneth. He came and joined us, and he's now the parish priest. But people still have that idea, they want to build a new church project. To actually build a new church building will require a lot of money, and we have seen the need to try to do that, so we take on board from there and like to assist in some ways that we can be able to help the parishioners out there.
After launching, mipla by more sample likely get block number team the church, so then the sudden number the more people will come to like long blood to more mipla must play gori give mipla long mipla thinking long help him kram isla project long mipla putin time more Olman Mary or Bodlo, Singo, one on a light no, or Sim na ban or putting a coach Blongolna, or giving big now. No main station, people come up triple man, no stop, go past long, make him on display click, keep it upon long, maybe yet. So display first contribution, block to men plobna, or Sim Longan, okay, people give law, triple man now steep. What's the time or still on make him slow? Little quencher Simlongan or make him slow work stop.
Manual Simlon Glenna say Simlon Arla Santi. People think they'll come up on this plan, nuclear project, house loading plan, working no any. People are putting on this plan, come up and house loading to me plan.
To play experience to me one time, all people who Sinsibai. We can talk long self-reliant, only sample. The people were only mature considerably well all get that. First time you look, this is a house father only make him, na pastoral center only make him, man, and you know I'm the little something. Yeah, and only get this is a strong belief. Also, only take ownership from also is a Catholic faith belong to that. Yeah, only I'm mass from one and something of Tunguna I kisimikam na.
They have ventured into different fundraising activities, from growing and selling food crops in the village to host fundraising events such as conducting clean-a-thon and special project collections in the past, and is still continuing today.
We did launching in 2019. Due to COVID-19, we were unable to do anything in 2019. 2020 and 2021 now we kind of did some fundraising. Like first thing we did was we wrote letters to business houses, to individuals, and likely we got some feedbacks from various business houses and individuals. And the second fundraising that we did was we did a Rafael draw. The first was the Mark II car. Second was the laptop. Third prize is the phone. All were winners and most we take out the prizes. And the tickets that we sold in Ley and Dang and Hagen, no one won any of the prizes, but it's what it costed the support, and thank everyone for the support. So now the third fundraising that we are planning for this year will be a major corporate dinner in Mosby. We're looking forward for it, and we're planning, and once we get accommodations and location, everything done, we will do a flyer and we'll advertise it for maybe 1 or 2 months, and then we'll host the dinner in Port Moresby, and then we'll plan for Christmas events in the village. We can raise some funds, and then we plan for next year. So this is basically what we are doing. Those who wish to support us, this is what it costs. Please do contact us with our email address, as well as our telephone number. Our account details are here as well, so you can help us in any way that you think that we can assist.